Before people in the comments ask again where I'm from or which server do I play on, let's get one thing straight. Since I flew from the Philippines to Qatar in November 2020, I have been playing on the global version of Call of Duty Mobile, in the Middle East servers specifically. But before that, I was playing in the Garena version of the app from launch in 2019 and used to play competitive from here and there. I often encounter some of the more famous pro players in the Philippines, and I have some clips of games against them linked down below. Nonetheless, Garena players are really some of the sweatiest people in the game. But really, what separates them from the rest of the world? We're about to find out. I'm Kith and I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Trovo and on my live channel here on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the 5 secrets of Garena players in COD Mobile. Like this video if you want more of this type of content, it really helps the channel out a lot. Garena's first secret is none other than the gyroscope. In case you didn't know, having this setting on allows you to control your movement by just simply moving your phone, tilting it in any direction you want. The main advantage of this is that you can make your fingers focus and do the more important things, like pressing on movement buttons and having your aim centered at the enemy. This gives you the ability to have quicker movement and reaction time, giving you the upper hand when it comes to close range, face-to-face gunfights if you like rushing enemies head-on. Tracking enemies close to medium range will be easier and you just have to focus on your movement and firing while you tilt your screen to follow your target. Recoil control is also one of the advantages of this setting. Rather than having to always pull down, you can just tilt your phone in order to control recoil. More players in Garena like to play fast, and in order to be reactive, gyroscope allows them to be just that. Of course, gyroscope is useful for SMGs, but it also makes a certain weapon category OP for close range. This one's no secret because everybody knows that Garena players love using shotguns. If you're going to look for guns that's most used in the server, you're going to find out shotguns for sure. In the recent Garena major tournaments, shotguns took a bit of a backseat in the later stages of the COD Mobile Garena Invitational due to the QQ9 buff, but shotguns are still widely used in ranked. Just look at this highlight by DG Clove, one of the best players to showcase what one can do with a shotgun. With the right attachments, good aim, and a bit of practice, you can one-tap enemies at lethal range. I actually consider shotguns to be one of the easier guns to use given how lethal they are at close range. I use them from time to time to have fun, but some Garena players use them daily like it's their main weapon. Here are some attachments if you want to try them out. I don't see anyone from Global complaining about shotguns because they aren't used that much, but in Garena, things are different to the point people are asking for nerfs because of how OP it is and how easy it is to kill enemies in close range. At this point, this attachment has become one of the prerequisites in a gunsmith build in Garena. You know what it is? It's the classic red dot sight. QQ9, slap. PP19, slap. In some cases, players in Garena would even put on a red dot on the QXR. In the previous meta, everyone would run the red dot on the Manowar, and that's partly due to the fact that most of the Garena player base are using phone, and that forces some of them to run red dot because of the smaller screens or poor phone performance. That makes it harder for them to see targets while using iron sights, hence the use of red dot sights. Don't get me wrong, with the Season 4 update, optics provide less aim shake and lets you laser enemies from range. Here are some of my builds utilizing optics. It would make the most sense for passive players to use the classic red dot sight. In Global, people would often use the iron sights of the gun, maximizing the gunsmith's potential to make a better gun. So, if you one day wake up where more than 3 players in the game are using the classic red dot sight, chances are you're playing in the Garena server. If you're from the Garena server or if one of those things are true for you, leave a like on this video. Another thing that's popular in Garena is having a custom crosshair. This is somehow related to some of the reasons why they prefer using the classic red dot sight over iron sight. Having to play on a smaller screen than, say, an iPad or PC monitor, the game's default crosshairs sometimes disappear because of how small and thin it is. To have a better sense of where they are centered, people go ahead and place a button of their choice as their custom crosshair. To have your own custom crosshair, simply take any button you want, can be the settings button, the run button, or the emote button, and place it at the center of your crosshair. Personally, I use the run button and it's actually not centered. It's moved one place to the right, and I usually put the opacity from 40 to 60%. Try and play around so you can see what works for you. This simple trick can help you improve your aim and centering whenever you're moving around the map. For example, it will make it easier for you to center your aim for hip firing with shotguns, and also when you're trying to hit long-range snipes. It also gives you the assurance that you're locked onto a target regardless of your gun's aim shake. When it comes to gaming, people in Garena servers, talking about Southeast Asia, are generally sweatier than normal. This is because a lot of people from this region aspire to be pro players, and that's why they usually sweat in ranked. The general consensus that global is easier than Garena is not 100% true. Europe and America have more casual gamers than Asia. Having played in both servers and seeing streamers and pro players stream their gameplay, I can say that more casual players are coming to Garena because of their aggressive marketing as seen in the Philippines, partnering with cosplayers and content creators to grow the game's player base. If you haven't seen them, here are some of the cosplays. Now stop simping. If you really want to win in ranked, every game is a sweat fest in Garena. In a way, it's a good thing because it raises the level of competition and therefore it forces you to get better. But now that the Garena version is gaining more popularity, I'm going to assume that ranked is easier than way back when it was season 1 to 4 of ranked. Playing in Garena was about skill at the time when Akimbo Phoenix and NA45s didn't exist. One reason that makes the Garena server inherently sweaty is that everyone abuses the meta. And I'm not talking about the guns only. Look at this post from Kaiju, one of the content creators I know from the Philippines. Garena players abuse everything. Shotgun spammers, shrapnel users with thermites, gas grenades, campers, persistence users. You can expect someone dropping one of the more game-changing score streaks late in the game of domination or hardpoint in Garena because people run persistence most of the time. This is because persistence is dominantly used in competitive in this region. Hopefully, with COD Mobile banning persistence for the world champs, there will be less people using persistence in the game. Not only that, now that everyone has to adjust to the rules, pro players will now avoid using these things that are banned in the tournament, such as gas grenades and thermites. While in global, there are more variety of guns used, but there are occasional lobbies full of sweats using the meta. If you really watch the video throughout, you're gonna know that I mentioned 6 secrets here instead of 5. Just a bonus for the real ones watching until this part of the video. If you're still here after all of that, comment your region down below. Garena is a sweaty place, and if you want to improve fast, having the mental toughness to deal with thermites, gas grenades, persistence, and meta abusers will set you up if ever you're planning to play competitive. If you can't beat them, join them. It's pretty simple. But even with Garena having the reputation of being the sweatiest, we can only determine who's the strongest region once the world champs happen offline. That's it for today's video. Make sure you drop a like if you found this helpful, or if you want more of this type of content where I dive into a certain region of COD Mobile. If you haven't yet, make sure you join my giveaway to get a chance of stealing my setup. Link down below for more info. For today's question, I want to know, which region do you think will win it all in the Call of Duty Mobile World Champs? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.